it was just announced today that I guess Lauren Sanchez has bought the Met Gala. More accurately, Lauren Sanchez Bezos has bought the Met Gala.
Okay.
And
gee, I was going to do that. I'm sorry. She got there before me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing what you can do when you marry one of the richest men in the world. And it was just announced today that Beyonce, Nicole Kidman, and I think Venus Williams are going to be the 3 co-chairs of the Met Gala this year, because they're all super relevant in our culture. They're all super high fashion. No, none of those things. Beyonce's past her prime. Nicole Kidman, she's a great actress, but what's she doing there? She's not known for her style. She's like known for her acting and her weird marriage to Tom Cruise. She just got in a divorce from the second husband after him. And Venus Williams, like, okay, she was a great tennis player back in the day, but like Coco Gauff would be a lot more relevant today, or Sabalenka, or somebody who's like been playing over the past 10 years in a more, I realize that Venus and Serena tried to do a doubles thing, but I'm just saying this is not the height of cultural relevance anymore. And what are they chairing? They're chairing an event at which all those people who will be sitting in those Golden Globe chairs will parade themselves in $100,000 gowns to a dinner where the plebs have to pay 40 grand a table to show up. Or maybe it's 40 grand a seat. It might be a ticket, more than that for a full table, just so that they can rub elbows with this so-called elite. I'm going somewhere with this so-called elite. And who are the elite? Like, right, as I say, people who are largely irrelevant or past their prime who are hosting it, and also on the guest list now. Used to be different 10 years ago. But also, I'm just going to give you an example of what that town looks like one day in the news. All right? Take a look at Ariana Grande right now, of the music industry and now also an actress starring in Wicked. Let's check in on how Ariana, who was raised on television on Nickelodeon, then parlayed that into singing, now is a Hollywood actress, is doing. She is very clearly anorexic. If she's 90 pounds, it's a lot. She looks like you could snap her in two with like your fingers. And she's having some sort of weird, I don't know what it is. Sexual, I don't know, relationship with a they, them, her co-star, Cynthia Erivo, who also looks dangerously thin. Then we take a walk down the street, and there's Andy Dick, comedian, actor. This is sad, but it's in the news today. Literally on the street, reportedly having OD'd. Like, this is him, just this week in the news, I think it was yesterday, spotted after having overdosed like a homeless person on the streets. Take a look at Kelly Osbourne, also reality TV star, daughter of Ozzy and Sharon. I love Sharon. But she is, to say waif thin would be to grossly understate the matter. She is unrecognizable. She's on the shot or something, but you can't even recognize that it is Kelly Osbourne. My whole point in saying all this, Andrew, is this industry is not to be admired. It's certainly not to be emulated. You shouldn't be spending your money to get a table with these people. You should not aspire to have a child go into this industry. And you should never feel bad that this industry doesn't recognize you for your life accomplishments. And I say that to you as Andrew Klavan and to the audience writ large.
Well, yeah, of course this is true. This has to do with a mistake about the arts that came about during the Romantic era. I mean, it's quite a long time ago, where the arts went from being a piece of work that was either good or bad on its own to being the production of this artist. I don't look at myself as the creator of things. I look at myself as a guy who receives information and puts it out on the page. I think think most really good artists think of themselves as a conduit to their art, not as the creator of their art. But at some point, we began to think that the artist himself was important, and that he was the guy to be elevated. I mean, I think all the time about people like Whitney Houston, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, with one of the most incredible voices I've ever heard, dead in a bathtub after being abused by her partner, and then, on drugs and all this. Philip Seymour Hoffman, probably the best actor of his generation, dying after injecting heroin to himself. So these are obviously broken people who have been given a great gift, and that gift is that something comes through them that we all benefit from and admire. And yet, when you put that on them and you admire them, you're just making a fundamental category error. You're just basically saying you're looking at the wrong thing. You're admiring the wrong thing. And I never asked anybody to admire me. I mean, that would be a big mistake. But yeah, I think that the work I do is good. It's really good, and I think that sometimes it would be nice to have the recognition that I think all artists want at some level. I always used to explain to conservatives, artists really don't work for money; they work for love. And if they don't get that love, they basically just walk away a lot of times. And that is a problem we have with conservatives and traditionalist artists. So look, you're 100% right. There's an old George Cohan musical called "I'd Rather Be Right Than Be President," and I too, like you, would rather say what I have to say and speak the words I would say what I had to say if I sold one book. I mean, I would never, ever change the things that I want to put down on paper. And you can talk to the people who work with me. I hope I'm a pleasant enough person in general life. But when you try to make me say something that I don't agree with, I become incredibly prickly and unmovable. And I've gone through multiple editors and agents, just making sure that I got to have the career that I wanted to have. But again, I've been incredibly fortunate and durable. And I just think about a lot of people, a lot of actors who have all the talent in the world, or writers who have all the talent in the world, singers who have no chance because they support Trump, or because they believe in the Constitution, or they believe that, being white isn't a crime, or whatever it is we're not supposed to believe in these days. I was watching Sydney Sweeney, who had made the beautiful move of basically showing herself to be, at least her family, to be Republican, and refusing to turn away from a jeans ad that she did, which was absurdly attacked as white supremacist. It was nonsense. It was blue jean supremacist. And recently she sort of backtracked. Well, why did that happen? Because
I know.
Because her movies are being...
We just had a debate on the show privately about whether that was her backtracking or bending the knee, which I maintained it was. And my executive producer didn't feel as harshly about it. But I was like, no, she's changed the messaging. They got to her. Hollywood, her agents, her PR people, the casting directors, the money men, like producers who actually could control her presence in a film. They got to her because her messaging sounds very different from, I think when I have something to say about that, people will hear. Now, I'll just play it, Andrew, and I'll let you take it. But she sounds different. And do we have it, you guys? Or is it just on, it's written? Oh, crap. It's going to take me a while to find. My team will send it to me. Because it is, I agree with you, it's alarmingly close to a genuflection to the left. Keep going.
Look, she just was in 2 movies that tanked enormously, and they got terrible reviews. One of them, she played a sort of overweight boxer, and I thought, look, nobody's going to the movies to see Sydney Sweeney be overweight. We're going to see her be beautiful. And, that's just one of those things that actors have to live with. Their body is their instrument. Unlike a writer who can write about anything he wants, an actor has to be who he or she is, and she's a beautiful woman, and we want to see her be beautiful. She's also an enormously talented actress. She's a really talented actress. And so her movies bomb, and now she hasn't got the power that she had before. She's not riding on top of the world as she was before. And yes, I'm sure you're absolutely right. She's got managers and agents and friends and family and, colleagues saying, you don't have to say anything you don't want to say, but just go out and say you're against hate. And of course, what a stupid thing. Who's in favor of hate?
Here it is.
Okay, but
here it is. She said, this is to People magazine, which, by the way, I don't know if people know this, but People magazine is woke and fucking annoying. Do not deal with People magazine.
I would say that's
fair. Do not buy People magazine. Truly, they hate conservatives. And I know people who are over there. They hate conservatives. Okay. She says this to People magazine. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press. But recently, I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. So I hope this new year brings more focus on what connects us instead of what divides us. It's that part of, but recently I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. So to be clear, I'm against hate and divisiveness. And I really think that's what that's as close as she will get, I guess, to telegraphing, I don't agree with the Republican crazies who backed me, and I'm not a white supremacist, and I don't like the people taking my jeans ad as a comment on GENES any more so than I explicitly wanted them to in that ad. She was better off with the first answer.
Yeah, but think about this, Megyn. I just want to put it in human perspective. I mean, think about Chick-fil-A, who came out against gay marriage, and not in a vicious way. Not I hate gay people, but I think marriage is between a man and a woman, and stood and held to their guns and became, because of that, one of the biggest franchises, fast food franchises in the country, much bigger than they were before, despite the consistent attacks of the left. But every time they went to open a restaurant, no matter where it was, when they went to open a branch of their franchise, no matter where it was, the left showed up and frequently caused enough trouble to have the municipality refuse them the space that they needed to open a restaurant. And ultimately, they started to change their mind. Ultimately, Sydney Sweeney lives off the love of the people. The people learn about her movies through the reviews and through word of mouth. The left has incredible energy and incredible dedication to making sure that word of mouth does not spread in her favor. And she cracked, let's guess. So I'm guessing she cracked. And
she cracked.
But
totally.
But look, I mean, I'm sorry. Part of what she does depends on people wanting to see her in pretty dresses, wanting to see her show up. I mean, the last time I talked to you, she had just shown up in a vaporous dress that you could see right through. I mean, that's...
And you hated it.
I did, but I like ladies. I prefer ladies who are genteel, but still, the thing is, this is part of the profession that she's in, just like part of my profession is signing books or going out and chatting with people about my books. These are parts of the things that you do, and the left is dedicated to destroying you.
Ever read the label on a typical bag of chips? It's often a science experiment of seed oils, MSG, artificial dyes, and mystery ingredients. Masa is part of the growing movement to bring back real food. Masa chips contain just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. Not only do these chips avoid the bad stuff, they also taste delicious too. Snacking on Masa chips is nothing like eating regular chips. With Masa, you feel satisfied, light, and energetic with no crash and no bloat. And if you love Masa, then you will love Vandy Crisps. Vandy, which is Masa's sister company, makes the most delicious 3-ingredient potato chips too. Ready to give Masa or Vandy a try? Use code MK for 25% off your first order at masachips.com or vandycrisps.com, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. Don't feel like ordering online? Masa and Vandy are now available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. Stop by and pick a couple of bags up before they're all gone.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.